So even though I'm a YouTuber based in Nigeria, the bulk of my subscribers are actually based in the United States or North America. And I know summertime is fast approaching where you guys are currently, so I figured this video is going to be very helpful. As you can see, I grow houseplants outdoors. And in today's video, I want to show and tell you guys the easiest houseplants to grow outdoors, because I know you guys at this time of the year are going to be moving some of your plants from indoors to outdoors, and I want to show you guys which ones are the easiest to grow outdoors, so it will give you an idea of which ones you should confidently move outdoors. You might be like, but aren't all plants native to the outdoors, so shouldn't they all be easier to grow outdoors? Babes, even though all plants are native to the outdoors, the ones that we've come to grow in our homes, typically called house plants, grow in the canopies of forests and trees and are kept perpetually in shade, which is why they make good house plants. When you do decide to grow these house plants outdoors and you do not provide shade for them, honestly, it can be very challenging. And take it from somebody who lives in a very sunny climate, growing houseplant outdoors, it is more challenging that many people realize because of the intense sun. However, I have noticed that there are some house plants that honestly do not really require a lot of shade or even any shade at all. These are house plants that take full and intense sun regularly, despite them also doing well indoors, even in low light. So it's much easier to transition these plants from indoors to outdoors. And these are the plants I'm going to be showcasing and telling you guys about today. Oh, Jesus. Let me stand up. Oh, Lord. My knees. And by the way, my name is Ibuka. I'm a plant content creator based in Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to my channel. Let's proceed. Okay, but before we proceed, I want to make a very important disclaimer. It is very important to know that if you've grown a plant indoors for a long period of time, you are going to have to acclimate it to be able to take full and direct sun outdoors. This is regardless of how sun-loving that plant may be. Needless to say, all of these plants I'm going to mention here, regardless of how I have professed about how sun-loving they are, you are going to gradually need to acclimate them to be able to take full sun and full exposure. And now is actually the best time to do so. If you're watching this in spring where you are, if your outdoor temperatures, especially at night, are not as frosty, then start bringing these plants outdoors now before things get intense and hot. And that way you will gradually begin to acclimate them to take even full and direct sun. Oh, my knees. Let's proceed with today's video. Let's start with the most obvious one, which is your rubber plant, your Ficus elastica. I'm still in a state of shock that there are some people who still vehemently believe that you should grow your rubber plant in bright, indirect light only. What these people do not realize is that this is actually a tree. When we grow this plant in pots, we're just growing like a miniature version of this plant. Over here in Nigeria, I've seen a couple of them growing on the streets, planted in the ground, and they make very imposing, huge trees that people typically stay under to provide shade. It goes without saying that your rubber plant will be able to handle direct and intense sunlight, regardless of whatever rubber plant that is. Whether it is the burgundy, whether it is the taniki, whether it is the ruby, it can take full and intense sun. So please do not hesitate to bring your rubber plant outdoors. So what I even do is that I even use them to provide shade for some more shade loving needing plants. And if you look at how this one is positioned, I have my shade net above me here, but the shade net does not extend over to this side, so direct sunlight sometimes still comes in through, but she actually is here to provide shade for the more shade needing girlies. So you can actually, after you've acclimated your rubber plant to be able to take full sun, you could actually use them as like a shade providing plant for house plants that need full shade. I have a rubber plant care video on my YouTube if you want to check it out, but I really love these guys and they're actually very easy to grow outdoors. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Syngoniums. Honestly, I don't think a lot of people realize that Syngoniums are actually very sun loving, and these guys can take full and intense sun. Trust me, any plant that is able to withstand and flourish under the Nigerian sun will be able to flourish under any other intense sunlight conditions you might give it. fact, I always recommend them to my clients that have like sunny balconies or sunny verandas. I do not grow any of this in shade. I actually grow them or have them placed in areas where the direct sunlight gets to them, and they're absolutely flourishing. This is Syngonium moonshine. For some reason, I don't see it being featured or talked about a lot in a lot of like in the states or in the west. I don't know, is it not a common plant there? But this one is pretty common here. I don't have a lot of Syngonium varieties, even though they take full sun here and I don't have to worry about growing them in shade. The problem I have with them is that they are very mealy bug prone. They're like mealy bug magnets. I try not to have too much of plants that are pest prone in my garden. It just doesn't make any sense. And another thing about Syngoniums you have to know is that they are very moisture loving, which can be a challenge if you're growing them in a sunny area, because obviously the more sun they're exposed to. I just saw the cutest bird. Oh, so cute. But yeah, focus. The more sun they are exposed to, the more their pot or their soil is going to dry up. So you really have to be on your hands and knees, especially if you have a very porous, chunky soil, to actually keep them hydrated. That's going to be the common thing when you move your plant outdoors. You're going to have to water them a lot more, especially if you are growing them in chunky soil that is best for indoor conditions. Using that type of soil outdoors in a sunny area during summer, you're gonna have to water a lot. I'm thinking of making a video showing you guys how to like take care of houseplants outdoors. So let me know in the comments if you would love to see that video. But yeah, Syngoniums. Guys, I'm already sweating. The downside of living in a tropical country is that the humidity is just can be so unbearable. Like you sweat like a goat a lot. The plants love it, but for humans, let me go bring the other one. It's going to surprise many people because again, it's a plant that is just a quintessential house plant that people will be shocked for the most part. I didn't even realize this until I started growing it outdoors, that it can actually take full intense sun as well. So let's go. Guys, the legendary, the iconic money tree, or if you want to be fancy, Pachira aquatica. Guys, this plant is actually a tree. Like, I feel like sometimes we completely forget that these plants that we grow in pots that stay small are actually trees. And I didn't believe it until I saw a tree growing here in Lagos. I was literally taking shade underneath the tree, and then the person who owns the garden told me that, hey, do you know that this is a money tree? And I didn't believe her until I saw it on closer examination. I'm going to insert a video. This plant slash tree even produces fruits that are edible. I actually ate the nuts from this tree, a money tree. So yes, your money tree, bring her out for summer. Honestly, this is a plant that I actually grow in full sun. I love it because regardless of how hot the Nigerian sun gets, it will never scorch this plant. Please do not hesitate to bring your money tree outdoors. Like, it is going to thank you. Do not hesitate to bring it outdoors this summer. The one thing I love about them is that they're actually quite drought tolerant, especially as they mature. The ones that have the chunkier codex, oops, is it called the codex, or the ones that have the chunkier stems will be more drought tolerant than the others that have like the slimmer stem. But in my experience, these guys always benefit from regular watering. When you water them regularly, just look at the stem of this. I love it when they are braided like this. So cute. So when you water them regularly, they would honestly grow better. Again, once you bring your plant outdoors, you're gonna have to water regularly. If you want to see good results, please do not allow them to stay dry. Water, depending on the type of soil you use, you may even have to water every day, but your plants will reward you with constant growth if you do so. So yes, do not hesitate to bring your rubber plant outdoors this summer. Once you've acclimated it to take full sun, honestly, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. It is just going to flourish in that sunny spot you keep it. So yeah, quite passionate about this next one because they are native to Nigeria. So I have like a soft spot for them, and they're also one of my favorite genus. It's like top three favorite genus. And it's going to surprise many people because it is such a quintessential low light plant. Like it is literally the poster child of low light plants. I've made a whole YouTube video about this genus, but without much ado, let me introduce you. Hang on, hang on. Snake plant. Oh my god, I love this guy so much. This particular one is a whale-fin snake plant. And guys, please, snake plants, hear it from me categorically. Snake plants are sun loving, regardless of whatever type you have. I never grew any of my snake plants in shade. I have never grown any of them in shade. I have quite a lot, and they are all growing where it is the sunniest in my garden, and they absolutely love it. Over here in Nigeria, snake plants are not like known as like low light plants because we use them in outdoor landscaping. So nobody here is gonna tell you, oh, prevent it, the sun is gonna burn it. No, babes. These guys thrive in full sun. So do not, if you have that one snake plant that hasn't grown for you in 650 years, now is the time this summer to bring it outdoors. And after you've acclimated it, oh god, gorgeous. After you've acclimated it to take full sun, let it stay on the full sun. Let it just stay and flourish and enjoy itself. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This is the whale fin. And have you guys, you really see a whale fin that is full, the full pot of it. I could separate this and make some money, but I'm like, no, 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 no. So I want the pot to even be fuller. This is caused by by a caterpillar. So that's the thing about outdoor gardening. You're exposed to all manner of pests. But let me show you another one of my snake plants that I absolutely love. Look at her. This is the snake plant black gold. Oh my goodness. I've done a snake plant collection tour in one of my previous videos, so please check that out. But I think I'm going to do an updated one because I even have more than I did before. But yeah, these guys love full sun, and they also love to be watered regularly. They're native to this country, so we get a lot of intense sun during the dry season, but we also get crazy intense rain during the rainy season. So this plant can take full sun and take full rain, brings it out during summer, and just watch it flourish. But again, acclimate your plants if they have been growing indoors for a long period of time. Acclimate them before you bring them outdoors so they don't all scorch and die. Yeah, but yes, snake plants. So let's move on to the next one. I'm sure most of you might find this surprising, but next is the Schefflera umbrella trees. These guys are outstanding outdoor plants. Any house plant that can grow outside of shade and can take our full intense Nigerian sun, that's one of my favorite plants to grow, and she fits the bill. A lot of people in the West do not realize that umbrella plants actually take full intense sun, and in certain parts of the world like in Asia, they are used as a landscaping plant. Specifically, when I mean umbrella plants, because it's a very diverse genus, or Scheffleras rather, I specifically mean the Schefflera abo girl. I can't pronounce the name. I'm gonna insert it, but that variant, that species, whatever it's called, they can take intense sun. This is the yellow variegated one. I have the white variegated one. Hang on, let me drop this. She's heavy. Another thing I should mention is, oh, oh Jesus. Another thing I should mention is, okay, I always try to make my soil a bit more moisture retentive and heavier, because I grew them outdoors in a sunny climate. But when I make that video, I'm gonna tell you more about it and how you can grow, houseplants outdoors efficiently. But let me bring the other Schefflera. This girl here is my personal favorite. So regardless of the Schefflera type and the variegation, it can take full intense sun and the variegation doesn't burn. Remember, great emphasis on the Schefflera aborigine, girl, the name, the Schefflera variant, that particular variant, because I have another Schefflera type, but that one cannot take direct sun. But these guys can take direct sun. So if you happen to have one of these indoors, bring sis outdoors. Bring sis outdoors this summer. You'll be so glad you did, and they will just grow exponentially. They are moisture loving, but one thing, unlike Syngonium that I showed previously, these guys are a bit more drought tolerant. So honestly, they are very, very good indoor plants. They are very, very good indoor and outdoor plants. Love it. The only challenge with growing these guys outdoors is that they are very prone to scales. So if you have like a scale infestation in your garden, the scales will just latch onto these guys and proliferate and breed 10 times more. So you need to watch out for scales with them. But aside from that, iconic, unproblematic, bring it outdoors this summer, babes. Yeah, let's move on. This is a yucca. I feel like, well, or is it just me? Because yuccas are not exactly popular houseplants here. The few times I've seen them growing, they've always been outdoors, like outdoors. Uh, that are used in outdoor landscaping. So I was the one that was even surprised that this could actually do well indoors. But yes, yuccas will actually thrive indoors, and they are very popular houseplants for you guys watching this in Europe and in the United States and North America. But yeah, these guys are very light adaptable. I found that indoors, however, they tend to prefer bright light. But like outdoors, these guys would take full sun like a champ, regardless. So put it in the sunniest area you can think of, and it will just take in. And also, it can also serve as shade for your more, especially the bigger ones. They can serve as shade for your more shade needing house plants, like these guys here. These ones here underneath my shade net are like the ones that, oh my god, you can never acclimate them to take full sun. So yeah, and one thing I love about these guys is that they're also very drought tolerant. I love a plant that can take full sun and is drought tolerant. Like I'm like, oh my god, you're the best plant in the world. So I water this very sporadically, and I just leave it dumped in full sun, and she is happy. She is happy. I have this and I have the variegated one. I've grown this indoors, I've grown this outdoors. Wherever I've placed it outdoors, she is fine. So please have no fear bringing your yucca out. Once you've acclimated it, it should be able to take full sun this summer like a champ. Now, moving on to the next one. The next one, I can't carry it. It's a bit heavy, so we're gonna go where it is. Let's go. Next one is one of my personal favorite plants of all time. It is obviously the ponytail palm. Oh my goodness gracious, this is an extremely light adaptable plant. In fact, I didn't know that this plant could grow indoors, because over here it is like again and sold as an outdoor plant because it can take our full and intense sun. This corner around here is like the sunniest part, especially this time of the year. It gets very intense sun. She loves it. And the awesome thing about this ponytail palm, like I said, very light adaptable. You can even grow this plant in low light. It's not gonna grow, it's not gonna thrive, but it will still be alive. And that is why it makes a very great decor, like office indoor plant, while also simultaneously making a fantastic outdoor plant, a plant that can take full and intense sun. So please, if you have a ponytail palm that you just want to see flourish and grow, bring sis outdoors during this summer. You'll be so glad you did. It loves full sun, and you're not gonna worry about it being sun scorched. So yeah. Let me stand up. Jesus. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Let me go and rest my knees. I've done a lot of bending today for a minute now. Bye babes, bye.